Today, our subject is Erythroblastosis Fetalis. Erythroblastosis Fetalis. This is also called Erythroblastosis neonatorum. Neonatorum means newborn. Neonate means newborn baby. So when it comes in the Latin, it is neonatorum. Erythroblastosis neonatorum. So this is today's subject. This term erythroblastosis fetalis is very closely related with hemolytic anemia or hemolytic anemia of the fetus and the newborn. That means our starting point is again a mother of RH negative group and fetus is RH positive group. That means there is an incompatibility persisting between this mother and the fetus. There is chance for the antigen of this fetus, in this fetus's erythrocyte. I will just draw this fetus is having in its erythrocytes D antigens. D antigen means RHD antigen. That is why the fetus is called RH positive. So, at the time of first delivery, there is chance for this erythrocyte to mix with the blood of mother, because during delivery the placenta normally gets broken and this erythrocytes will come here. Then the mother's immune system will produce antibody against this antigen. That is, antibody will be produced in the mother's blood. Anti-D will be produced. when if this red blood cell of fetus comes here, anti-D will be produced. And in the first pregnancy, there is no problem for the baby, because by the time the placenta, suppose this is the placenta will be broken and the delivery will be over. So this antibody cannot go and attack these RBCs. The delivery will be over. So that is the story of first delivery. Coming to the second delivery, that is, or the second pregnancy, what happens again? Again, if this baby is having anti-D, antigen D in the second baby's blood. So this is the first case, this is the second case. So in the second case, if the fetus is again Rh positive, this is again Rh positive, then there is a possibility for any of these few RBCs to cross through the microscopic pore in the placenta. So if this RBC comes here, there is already the memory B cells produced in the first incident. So memory cell is there already. So when this D antigen comes here, the memory cell will produce millions of antibodies immediately, because the memory cell already is having the photocopy of this D antigen. So it is very easy to produce antibody. And this antibodies will go back and attack this erythrocyte or this RBC. This is happening in the second delivery, in the second pregnancy. So this is what is happening. In the first pregnancy, sensitization will happen. That means this RBC will come here and the immune system of mother will detect it and consider it as an enemy. Immediately antibody will be produced, and that will destroy those cells which have already entered here, and then keep memory cells also here. This I have already explained in previous videos, so please watch the previous videos also along with this. All those videos are in series, so if you miss one, then it may not be very easy to follow the second one. So just watch videos 1E, 2E, 3E, like that. E means English. So let us come back. In the first one, sensitization happens. Memory cells are there. Second pregnancy, when this comes, immediately memory cells will produce millions of antibodies, and these antibodies will go and attack this RBC. So this RBC, with the help of macrophages, will be destroyed. When the RBC is destroyed, as you know, the hemoglobin and all the other materials will come out. That will cause anemia, hypoxia and all. This I have already explained. So this kind of anemia or hypoxia can happen if there is agglutination which is happening by the action of other antigens in the erythrocyte also, because this erythrocyte is not only having this antigen, there are many other antigens like KEL, Duffy, KID, MNS, Litharian, DIGO, like that it goes. So there are many antigens. But most important is this RHD, that is why we are considering this one. The other reactions will give only lesser problems. So here, what is the relation between this destruction of erythrocyte and our headline Erythroblastosis Fetalis? What is the relation? We will come to that point now. When this erythrocyte is destroyed, the bone marrow will produce many RBCs to compensate this deficiency. I will tell you one more point here. Normal RBC will live up to 120 days if it is healthy, normal. But here, because of the attack from this antibody, this is crushed and destructed. That will happen earlier than 120 days, maybe 80 days, 80 to 90 days. This will happen. So, whichever number of RBCs are destroyed, bone marrow normally makes RBCs to compensate that number of destruction. But here what happens? The production of RBC is not matching the destruction of the RBC. So it cannot compensate. So RBC normally ask the help of liver and spleen also to produce RBCs. In fetus, a speciality is that fetus can produce RBC not only from bone or bone marrow, it can produce RBCs from the liver and spleen also. This is a specialty of the fetus. So there are 3 sites of RBC production. Number 1 is bone, number 2 liver, number 3 spleen in a fetus. So here what happened? Due to the attack of this antibody, there are much destruction of RBC. So we have to immediately produce many RBCs to compensate this. So bone marrow will ask the help from liver and spleen also to help production of RBCs. But all this liver, spleen and bone marrow are all in the growing stage in the fetus. They are less efficient in producing RBCs. So they cannot produce matured RBCs. So they will produce immature RBCs. These immature RBCs are medically called blast cells. B-L-A-S-T. Blast. Blast means immature cells. They have a big nucleus and their hemoglobin is not fully developed. So they cannot do the purpose of taking oxygen to the in the body. They cannot do the purpose. They cannot serve the purpose. So because they are only blasts, immatured cells, they cannot do the duty of an RBC. It's only developing RBC. It's in the budding stage, in the growing stage. Because this liver, spleen and bone, these are all growing stage. So they are not efficient enough to produce matured cells. As a result, too much blasts will come in the plasma or in the blood. Too much blast. Blast of what? Blast of red cells. So this will produce blast, this will produce blast, and this will produce blast. and it will come in the blood. This blast is a useless cell. It cannot do the duty of a matured cell. So again I will go to the original word. What is erythroblastosis? Erythro means red. Erythroblast. Blast means immatured cell. So here it is immatured red cell. Another word, oocyst. OSIS. Oocyst means an abnormal condition, either by an increase in number or increase in quantity. This is a pathological situation, we can say. That is, the word oocyst means abundance of numbers or quantities. It is a diseased condition. So erythroblastosis fetalis. Fetalis means fetus. So these four words are combined together to denote erythroblastosis fetalis. Erythro means red, blast means immature, budding or growing cell, useless cell. Oocyst means abundance or the number is increased. Fetalis means fetus. So the total, this word, even though it's a big word, meaning this is the abnormal condition whereby so much red blast is appearing in the fetus blood. This is the meaning, erythroblastosis. This OSIS is a suffix which is coming in many occasions. Just keep it in mind. OSIS. Similarly, there are other words. Another suffix is IA, like anemia, IA, that is also an abnormal condition. Another word is IASIS, iasis, that is also an abnormal condition. So in medical science, these three words, they are showing abnormal conditions, which are always or mostly related with a pathology or a disease or an unwanted situation or an unwanted condition. Oocyst or IA or iasis. These three words, keep it in memory because this may come in future also. So that is what is called erythroblastosis fetalis. The appearance of blast cells of RBCs. Erythro means red, blast means budding cells, oocyst means number, increased number or unwanted condition or the abnormal situation. Fetalis means fetus. I hope you got an idea about this magic word, erythroblastosis fetalis. Okay. Thank you very much.